Hey everybody, this is going to be a quick video on my personal experience during my first month being homeless. It's June 9th, 2023. I became homeless on May 9th, 2023. Um, the history and all that I'm not going to go into because I have other videos that have all that explained in it as to how I got where I'm at. And I even have videos up explaining the way I grew up, and this is why I turned out with the opinions and the thoughts that I have. You have to watch them. I'm not going into it. I know everybody's. Don't jump to the conclusion that I'm too lazy to work, because I currently have a job. Uh, but it's a job that I am, as of today, I am leaving because I got a better job. I have some health issues. Um, I'm not really going to go into that either because that's explained in another video. If you're curious about that, check out my couple other videos. Um, I'm not a drug addict. I do have mental health issues, yes. That's one of the things that a lot of people don't want to admit. But if they would address the mental health issues in this country, you wouldn't have so many shootings, you wouldn't have so many homeless people, and you would not have the opiate epidemic as bad as it is. But there's obviously no money really to be made in the mental health industry, and that's why nothing's getting done about it. If you could make a ton of money at it, there would be more help. That's just how this country works, and not just this country, but other countries as well. It's all about the money. Why do you think there's so many people locked up in jail? Because they get so much money for it. That's why we jail more people than any other country on the planet. Um, but so I left my apartment a month ago. I already had a storage unit for a couple of years because I always had a small place. I'm not. I wouldn't say I'm a minimalist because I have way more than a backpack. I don't see how these people who claim they're minimalist and they backpack all over the place with only a backpack. I don't. I'm sorry, I don't buy it. Um, how many sets of clothes can you fit in that backpack? One or two? How many times can you wash them before they fall apart? A dozen times? Then what? So I don't buy that. I think that's a crock of crap. But I was never one to buy fancy things. So I drive a 2000 Toyota Sienna with 235,000 miles on it. I've had it now for a couple of years, and it's been very reliable, as was the '06 Corolla I had prior that I drove for 3 years with also 200 and some odd thousand miles on it. The only reason I don't still have that is because I slid into a guardrail with it. Um, so at first, I just took the middle row of seats out. I'm only 5'6", so it was enough room to sleep. But after a couple of days to a week, my knees and everything started to hurt because I couldn't stretch out at night. So I took the last row of seats out, and this is what my inside of my van looks like. You see, I got my curtain on the one side. Of course, I have one in the back that I take down and one on the side so I could still see while I'm driving. My bed, and back there is bags full of tools and clothes. There's a tote back there full of clothes. Uh, right now, this is home. Um, the first thing I had an issue with was trying to find somewhere to go every night. Uh, if it's really bright, and I just recently put these curtains up, so this is new. These were in my storage unit, so I didn't have to spend any money on them. Uh, Trying to find places to go is one of the biggest problems I personally had, because you don't want to be where I'm at in the country. There aren't cars in every store's parking lot all night long like there are in other areas. You might have nighttime stock people that work there or whatever. But if you have a car sitting in a brightly lit parking lot and you're the only car there and a cop drives by, he's gonna come by to see what you're doing. And while my car is legal, my inspection is 4 months old. I don't have the money to fix what's wrong with it to get it to pass, so I'm driving around with a January expired inspection sticker. But it does say 2023 on it. I'm trying to avoid Pennsylvania cops as much as I can. Luckily, I have not got pulled over by either a state cop or a local cop. A couple of places that I have gone at night, I didn't really know what to do at first. I knew that there were some parks, but most parks have the times posted. It's generally 5 a.m. to 9 p.m. so you can't be there. And most of the parks here have gates, and somebody comes around and locks them. There is a state park not far from where I'm at, where there are people who actually live on the state park land. So it's a public road, so they can't close it. And there are some pull-offs on this road. There is one really nice place. The only scary part is there's no cell phone reception there. So if there's any kind of problem, you're not even gonna be able to call 911. You are left. It says your phone might say emergency calls only, but that call is not going to go through because there's absolutely no cell phone reception there. It's the best place to sleep though because it's covered by trees, and you don't get direct sunlight in the morning. And there's very, very few cars that come by. But you can't go there every day because there's a house not even 50 yards from it. So, it's starting to rain. I gotta close my window. One of the biggest issues that a lot of people have is trying to find some place to go. I found a cemetery that's kind of on a hill, and up on the second tier of the cemetery, there's a row of like pine trees, small pine trees, that if you park behind at night, nobody's going to see you. And I didn't realize this till literally till I found a cemetery because I never paid attention before. Everybody's putting these little solar powered lights on the graves now. So the graveyard has all these blue, red, green, white lights all over the place. So even if somebody's headlights reflected off your taillights, that red sparkle, they wouldn't think anything of it because there's all these other red lights there. Great place to go. It's quiet. It's approximately 100 yards off one of the main roads. See, around here we have natural gas drilling, so there's a lot of trucks driving around. So it can get loud. So I've been sleeping for a couple of years now with earplugs in anyway. So now if I don't have them, I don't sleep. Finding a place to go to the bathroom is another problem. Luckily here, and I know this is, not going to be everywhere, but that cemetery has a porta-john. Almost every little park around here has. Here they actually have working bathrooms, but they're locked at night. They're only open during park hours. Some of them are pretty decent. So you don't ever want to be too far away. Obviously, anybody who's homeless knows that, especially if you're living in your car and you're in a populated area, you're going to have to piss in a bottle. That's just part of the thing. You can call it disgusting all you want, but it's a necessity. You do not have a choice. What are you going to get out and piss on the sidewalk and get a indecent exposure ticket? No. So doing a number two, you want to be close to a toilet. Luckily here where I'm at, a lot of the gas stations and stores, grocery stores, they all have bathrooms, and nobody's going to bother you unless they see you every day. Which, in any situation, parking at night, you don't want to be in the same place. Going to the bathroom, you don't want to be in the same place. Looking for food, you don't want to be in the same place unless it's a food bank where they're not going to care. The more often you're in a place, the quicker people will start to recognize you. So, you want to be somewhat near a bathroom. I personally found out I really miss hot showers. There's nothing I can do about that. I did get put up in a hotel by a local agency for a week, and that was great, but it was only for a week, and I'm back out on my own. So getting yourself clean. Another thing that we have here where I'm at is there's a few local springs that are completely free, and the water to drink is great. I prefer it over any most of the bottled water out there. People don't realize, but most of it's tap water, filtered. It's nothing special. But you can use the water, fill up gallon jugs like I have. I have a bunch of jugs in my storage unit because I'm not going to keep 8 gallons of water in my car at all times. But it's not really that hard to find a place to park real quick and clean yourself up. That's the one thing I'm having an issue with. I see, people homeless, and some of them, I don't know how long they've been homeless, but I I cannot let myself just get dirty like that. Uh, I just I just can't. It's just it bothers me to my core to be filthy. So some of these bathrooms, the public bathrooms that I told you about, not in the stores, but the ones in the park. If you get there early enough in the morning, you can get in the bathroom, and it's way big enough. The ones that I've been to up here, they're big enough to get probably 8 wheelchairs in. They're decent size. There's no hot water though, so you're going to clean yourself up with cold water. But if you get there early enough in the morning where there might be somebody walking around the walking track, they're probably not going to bother you. You just don't want to go when there's a lot of people. They see you walking into the bathroom with a towel and everything. They're going to, oh, what the hell's going on here? But you can clean yourself up. I found a couple of different places I can go. Since I just started working last week again, I bought some wipes. I know they're not the greatest thing to use, but it's better than nothing. I started a job last week, and I'm currently leaving as of today because I have a better offer. But there's all these things that people are worried about when you first become homeless, and I want everybody to get your story out there because it might help somebody else who's currently in a situation. Now, you're on the internet. If you're worried about being embarrassed, then you shouldn't be on the internet, because no matter what you do or what you say, there's always going to be some morons. They're always going to bash you. They're always going to make assumptions. So, but get your story out there and say where you're at, because where you're at regionally makes a huge difference on the resources you may or may not have. So I wish more people would tell their stories, and I wish more people would, video other people's stories if they're willing to show people what they're going through, because contrary to what a lot of people believe, and this includes the guy I hung gutters with a couple weeks back that I couldn't do the job. He was saying that people are homeless because they want to be. Now, I had to bite my tongue because I was working for the guy, but I don't feel that anybody wants to be homeless. It's almost always a consequence or result of either a tragedy, loss of employment, in my case, sudden health issues, that lead to you being homeless. Nobody wants to be here. That, I don't know where that came from. The other assumption that a lot of people make is, oh, they're all on drugs. I'm not on any drugs. I've passed 2 drug tests in the last 2 weeks. So I don't know. I can understand to an extent like where that comes from. Seeing like the issue in like Kensington, Philadelphia, and some of the other areas where the drug problem's rampant. So I can understand that one. But the third thing that I cannot stand is when people say, oh, they're just lazy, they don't want to work. There's lots of homeless people out there that have full-time jobs. It's just that what they're making is not enough to survive on. Like, you look at people living in San Francisco and Los Angeles, the major cities have become so overpriced with rent that even people who were making $40,000 and $50,000 a year can't afford to rent a place. And it's not just that easy to up and leave like some other people think. So get your story out there, say what's going on in your personal situation, and be honest about it. There's a lot of people out there lying. I see a lot of fake homeless people on both YouTube and TikTok. You can clearly tell that they are not homeless, because they have other videos where they're in their house. It's not. Other people have. I saw a video here on YouTube where a guy says, "Oh, I'm living homeless in a shack in the woods." You're expecting to come across like, one of them old aluminum sheds that he's living in. That. No, what's he come up to? Doesn't look like much from the outside, but on the inside, he's got brand new plank flooring, brand new furniture, electricity. How is that homeless? That's fake. that's making the video for attention. That's what that is. That's what a lot of people are doing. They're doing it for the attention, and they're hoping you're all going to send them money. Because some people, and I've seen this, and I'm not bashing anybody for it. You do what you got to do if you actually deserve it. But I've seen people get cars, and I've seen a couple people get houses. Uh, but there's a lot of people faking it just to hope to get. And it's always the ones that post their Patreon, their Cash App, their Venmo, their PayPal. If they're posting that, they're just looking for money. If they're desperate, I don't blame them. But you can clearly tell in some of the videos. Like there's this one video that I saw on YouTube that the guy was living in like a $70,000 Beamer. Come on, man. You know, really, you think people are going to believe you're homeless? Had big gold chains around his neck. I'm like, come on, man, you're faking it. It's like sell the car, buy a Toyota Corolla or something, sell the jewelry. It just it doesn't make any sense. But get your story out there, and like I said, be honest, because it could help. First off, for me, it's like therapy. But there might be somebody out there who might be able to help you, and you're gonna have to take the bashing right along with it. And I hate to say it, but I was never a fan of TikTok. Recently started putting videos on there. I got thousands of positive comments before I got my first bad one. Here on YouTube, first bad comment comes in the first three. So maybe there's a little bit of a difference there on the platform. I don't know. But get your story out and be honest about it. Don't be embarrassed. Anybody could be right there next to you.